Everyone, welcome to another edition of the Bolt City Podcast. Look, believe it or not, I don't know if you guys are aware, this is our 1 year anniversary show. We've been doing
Wow.
it for 1 year. How about that? Just saying.
That's big time.
Big
Big
time.
time.
The weird thing is, a year ago on our first show, man, I was so sick. All right. I was in Chicago and it was our first show, and I was like, I can barely talk. I feel terrible. And then all of a sudden we come in today, and there's Mario in Chicago, sick as a dog right now. Losing
Yeah.
weight right in front of us. Can't eat. But look, you're a gamer, man, ready to go. Looks like you literally have a fever right in front of us, like your head's all shiny.
Dude, I have a fever right now, so that's the craziest thing. So sorry to the people. We were supposed to record yesterday, but yesterday I was literally feeling like I was on top of a volcano and there was Cap Caesar's sword was in my throat. So that's what she said, I guess. So that's just where I sat at the moment, and that's why we didn't record yesterday. But now we're back, flu game. Hopefully, I don't know, man. I got flu brain. What's going on with you, Josh?
It's hard to follow that up. I'm good, man. I guess it's my turn next year to get sick in Chicago, but I'm pumped for this show. I'm pumped for this show because this is actually our favorite show of the whole year. It's the prediction show where we run through the schedule and we tell you what we think the Chargers are going to do game by game. And I know all three of us have prepared for this leading up to this show, so I'm pretty pumped up.
We're also doing predictions for the divisions as far as who we have finished in first, second, third, fourth. Who are the teams that make the playoffs? Who matches up with the Super Bowl? This is the show I look forward to follow along throughout the year to see how crazy were we. Last year, again, when we were done, I was super confident in my picks. I can't believe I had the Rams getting back to the Super Bowl. The Rams were nowhere close to the Super Bowl. Mario actually looked really smart in week one when he had the Bills beating the Rams on the road, and he was right. It wasn't even close. The Bills completely went to LA and crushed the Rams, so he got off to a good start. But again, we're going to make our picks. This is one of those where all three of us, when we're done with our picks, we're going to go, I'm the smartest guy on the planet, just like when you fill out your March Madness bracket and you realize by 2:30 in the afternoon you aren't as smart as you thought you were. So we're going to do the best we can to tell you what we think is going to happen in the 2023 season. I do want to start off, guys, though, real quick before we get into even that, is Nick Bosa, because we touched on it last week as far as saying Nick Bosa and the rumors that the Niners were talking to an AFC team, possibly trading Nick Bosa. The rumor was the team they were talking to was the New York Jets. I was hoping it was the Chargers. That would be great to have both Bosa brothers on the same team. When you look at the money that Nick Bosa got, he signed a 5-year, $170 million contract. That is a lot of money, man. Right? 5 years, 170 averages out to $34 million a year. So what the Niners are doing, because I think Josh said it last week, how can you possibly work with the salary cap? How does the salary cap work? And we said, different teams able to manipulate it for depending on the year, and then you pay the price the way the Rams are paying the price right now. The Saints did it in the past. The Rams have done it, and then teams, you pay the piper. The Niners, though, in a different situation because they aren't paying a Justin Herbert type contract to their quarterback. Okay. Brock Purdy does not make quarterback money. He makes his first contract money. So basically, Nick Bosa is making the closest thing to quarterback money, which kind of opens things up. He's not making the $50 million most quarterbacks are making right now, but $34 million a year is a ton of money. Think about it. In 5 years, when that contract runs out, it's going to be time to pay Brock Purdy, right? It might overlap by a year or so. I don't know how the contract breaks down on how the last year of Bosa's contract is paid, but the Niners have figured out a way to stay competitive where it's not going to be, what are we doing? We're leveraging everything we have for 2 or 3 years that they're basically using quarterback money to pay a defensive end.
Yeah. So the question to me back to you is he worth it? I mean, my opinion, I think he's the best defensive player in the NFL. And I think he's in the conversation also with Fred Warner, his teammate. I think Myles Garrett's very good. TJ Watt when he's healthy. But I think Nick Bosa is right there at the top as the best defensive player in the NFL. Would you have paid him that money if you're the 49ers? Is he that important as the defensive end?
Mario, what do you say?
110% and more. I think he's worth it. I mean, look at the past 2 seasons, games started, games played, 16 and 17. So he's only in 2020 was a time that he didn't play less than 14 games per year. So he's always out there. He's healthy. He's playing. His production matches what he's worth. And I think to go along with that too, like the Niners, they've had kind of a disaster at the most important position, right? Trey Lance thing, you traded up for him. You let Jimmy G walk. Trey Lance doesn't work out. If you let Nick Bosa go after bottling and just messing up the QB situation, your team's really going to fall apart. In order to be a successful football team, you got to have a great pass rush, you got to have a great quarterback, and you got to have a great front seven. If Nick Bosa doesn't sign, they'd be missing 2 out of 3. And then that would become really, really dangerous. So I think it was 100% worth it for them to get it. Like I said, he's arguably the best defensive player in the league. I would have paid him that money 10 times over again. You got to get a guy like him. You got to keep him. And he's young, and he's a hell of a player. You got to keep him there. In Division 2, that doesn't look that strong in the near future.
All right. Go ahead.
Right, I'm with Mario, and I left out another guy, Michael Parsons. Nick Bosa.
You said it.
Did I say Michael Parsons?
Yeah.
He disrupts the game, and I agree with Mario. If you can get to the quarterback and make him feel uncomfortable, that's the best thing you could do as a defense, in my opinion. That's why I think the Chargers this year, I'm hopeful about their defense. I don't think we can stop a nosebleed with the run, but I'm hopeful that we can get to the quarterback with Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. That's all I wanted to add, was that I would have paid Nick Bosa the same amount of money because I think he is that valuable.
It's funny to show you out of touch I am with what defensive players make. I was thinking in my mind, because the quarterbacks take up so much money of the salary cap, that I was thinking I would not pay him $34 million a year. That seems like a tremendous amount of money. And then I started thinking, was there a player I'd pay more than $20 million to on the defensive side? To show you how out of touch I am, I just looked up Joey Bosa's contract. You guys have any idea how much Joey Bosa makes a year?
I don't know the exact amount.
$27 million a year. He signed a 5-year, $135 million deal in 2020. So he makes $27 million a year. That was way back. So if you look at, obviously, 2020 to 2023, it probably fits right in with where it belongs. The $34 million. It probably is a number that is fair to Nick Bosa and fair to the 49ers. In my mind, I just thought that money seemed pretty high. I couldn't think of a defensive player that I would give that money to. But that is the right number. I mean, I think the Niners signed a good deal. I think it's a contract, obviously, it should keep Nick Bosa happy, and we'll see where they go from there. If he were to be traded, as I was pushing last week, to the Chargers really couldn't afford to do it. You couldn't have a Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa, and a Justin Herbert on the same team, right? It would be funny as hell if they did do it, just to look at Austin Eckler's face. But otherwise, it's something that doesn't work out at all. I'm sorry to laugh at Austin Eckler, but it is kind of funny. Everybody's making big time money, but these running backs, right? They just no one can get $12 million. They're all freaking out. But again, that's the big story in the NFL today, as we're one day before the start of the NFL season on Thursday night when the Lions take on the Chiefs. But again, they're gone. Here's the good news for the Chargers, and we pointed this out the last few shows, guys. The Chargers are the only team without drama, right? And we'll start right at the top. You look at the Chiefs. We brought up Chris Jones a lot, and Chris Jones has not expected to play for the first 8 games, and then you go, okay, well, Chiefs are in trouble. Well, all of a sudden, Travis Kelce hyperextends his knee. Now the Chiefs are in trouble on the offensive side of the ball. Fantastic. Okay. Then you move on to the Raiders. The Chandler Jones story is freaking nuts. All of a sudden, Chandler Jones wants his head coach fired. Says he can't get into the building anymore. He went to go work out. He can't get in the building. Gets to work out at a local gym somewhere in Las Vegas. That basically he's locked out. That is really weird. Basically, the way it works in these buildings is you have a fob, a key card. Everyone who goes to work in a big office building understands how this works. Players always have access to the gym every 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It always works this way. When Josh was at Alabama, he had the same thing. All right, doesn't matter. The NFL, if you want to work out, no one's going to keep you from working out. Chandler Jones can't get into the Raiders facility. That is a big story. The fact he wants his head coach fired, that's a big story. Again, this is the first weekend in the NFL season, and the Raiders right now, the guy who's supposed to help Max Crosby because he's on the other side doesn't want to play on the Raiders anymore. Good news. You got Russell Wilson, and you have Sean Payton. Complete disaster already. Sean Payton telling Russell Wilson, if you want to salvage your career, saying your head's in the wrong spot. That's fantastic. And they have injury problems to 2 key wide receivers. The team, guys, that right now is in perfect position heading into week 1 is the Chargers. We don't have any of that stuff. Knock on wood if you're with me. I will.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into this when we go through the schedule, but the Chargers are my pick to win the division because of what you just said. Take Patrick Mahomes, and I know that's crazy to say this. Take Patrick Mahomes off of the Chiefs and replace him with an average quarterback in the league. That is the worst team in the NFL. I mean, literally the worst team in the NFL. You look at that offense, and there is nothing when you take away Travis Kelce if he's actually injured significantly, which it seems like he's really not. But if he does miss time, that is a horrible team. The kicker is they have the best player in the league playing quarterback. The Raiders, I have never seen ever a head coach and a GM get dissed this much before a game is even played. I mean, it is remarkable. Max Crosby's spoken out. Chandler Jones now has spoken out. Devontae Adams has spoken out. Josh Jacobs has spoken out. And Darren Waller, who plays for the New York Giants, hates Josh McDaniels more than any of them. I mean, this whole thing is crazy. Sean Payton's comments about Russell Wilson salvaging his career before week 1 is remarkable. I mean, out of everything we've talked about, that is the craziest thing. You haven't even coached him yet. And he said, if you want to take your career serious, forget your brand. Focus on football. Enough of this. You're here to play quarterback. You're not here to be in front of the spotlight, like off the field. He's saying this thing is crazy. I'm so hyped for the season.
Stop kissing babies. He's dropped that line.
Kissing babies.
That's what he said.
Stop kissing babies. I can't believe it, man. I mean, I can't believe it for the Raiders because this is totally a Raider thing to do. But for the Broncos, it's kind of weird. And then the Chiefs are just not the same team to me. But they do have Patrick Mahomes, so you can't really rule them out.
The no Kelce possibility for week 1, it's a huge loss for the Chiefs. That's not only their tight end, that's their wide receiver 1 by a wide margin. Wide margin. And if you look at their top 3 players on their team, 2 out of 3 are probably not going to play tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
That is not good against a team that many people think is a playoff team, which is also not very good. So not a good start for the Chiefs. You look at the Raiders, the Chandler Jones thing's not great. The Jimmy G thing before the season was not great. Devontae Adams' comments before the season was not great. That's just on track to be a complete and total disaster, and there's no other way to put it. It makes you sad for a guy like Max Crosby, who's at the peak of his powers. And you're at the peak, and you're not going to be able to get anything out of it because your team's not very good. Then you look at the Broncos, and did Sean Payton do 1 year in media and get obsessed with being in the media? Like, I don't remember this in New Orleans, right? Like, I don't remember him making these smart-ass comments about his QB, his players ever in New Orleans. I could be completely wrong. I just don't remember it. Maybe him and Drew Brees were just tighter like that, and he just liked Drew Brees better. Who knows? But just this whole reaction we're seeing right away, it's bothering me. It's just weird. Like, if you're a Broncos fan, you should not be pumped about this season. Like, everything that's coming out right now, it should scream it's going to be a really frustrating year. And it should scream that everyone on that roster is not safe by the end of this year. It sounds like Sean Payton's going to come in there, fire a lot of people, and get a lot of other people in. Like, it just doesn't sound good. Chargers look very, very good right now with the no drama. Chargers to win the division. We'll get into it. I'm very off of that still. But hey, it's what we call a tease in the industry, by the way. Even when you're sick, you can do it.
Okay,
here school.
Go to school. All right, we're gonna go through a bunch of predictions right now. Okay, we got. I don't want to be here for 2 hours. I want to knock this thing out. We're gonna go through the Chargers schedule first. Okay, wins and losses. Chargers final record. Then we're gonna go through this week's games with the spread, right? Picking games, and then
no. Let's save that for the next show.
The next show, we're gonna have a next show. There's a game tomorrow night.
Yeah, but
we'll pick this week's this Thursday night's game, and then we'll pick the other ones after. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just do one extra show on Friday.
Oh, are we?
For the fans.
Is that right, Doctor?
All right, kiss my ass. I'll just try and make extra content for the fans.
All right. I thought it was Prediction Wednesday, but okay. So what are we? Let's go with the Charger schedule. We'll start it off. Okay.
All right, Mr. Palais.
All right, I got to go with the glasses. I can't see for squat. All right, here we go. Chargers, Dolphins. Josh, you go first.
Am I picking with the spread, or am I just picking winner and loser?
No, you're picking just win and loss. We're doing spread.
All right, well, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a win for the Chargers. The Dolphins have sustained too many injuries. The injury to Jalen Ramsey, we've spoken about it before, is massive. I think the Chargers win this game, not handily, but they win the game by a touchdown.
Go ahead, Mario.
I have this also as a win. Dolphins have too many red flags for me, and I think Chargers are coming in this game pretty ready to go. We're gonna see how much the no preseason play affects this team, but other than that, I think Kellen Moore's offense will come out firing, and this team's gonna be successful. Go 1-0 in week 1.
I agree with you. I'm going Chargers. Kellen Moore's going to basically unleash that offense. Dolphins have some injuries. It's a long flight for Miami to come to Los Angeles. I think the Chargers get off to a 1-0 start. Next game up on the schedule, Chargers go on the road. Chargers face the Tennessee Titans. Josh.
All right,
or Mario, you go first.
Mario's turn.
So I have this as a win because I think Titans have one of the worst secondaries in the NFL. I think they do not have any type of passing game. I think their running back is overproductive and is going to get hurt at some point in the year just because he's getting older and too many miles on him. So I think this is a hard but win for the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm with Mario. I think this game is going to be harder than people probably think. I don't think the Titans are a very good team at all, but they do have 3 very good players on offense with Derrick Henry, DeAndre Hopkins, and Treylon Burks, who I think is one of the most underrated receivers in the NFL. I do think the Chargers win this game, though.
I'm with you guys as well. The team starts off 2-0. This is always one of those games I put it this way. I don't care if that game was in the middle of the season, at the end of the season. Derrick Henry always seems to leave a wreck behind, right? There's always someone that's going to get hurt. Guys are bruised. They're battered. The best time to face the Titans is when you have a bye week afterwards because the Titans are that team. Derrick Henry creates that for the other team's defense, but I think the Chargers do go on the road, and I think the Chargers win that game. Chargers go on the road again the following week. They're at the Vikings. It's a 10 a.m. start for the Chargers. Again, never easy to play on the road, back-to-back road games. I'll go first in this one, guys. This is where I'm going to go loss for the Chargers.
Yep, I'm with you. The Vikings are extremely hard to beat when they're at home. They were 8-1 last year in Minnesota. I think it's going to be a very good game, but I'm going to say the Chargers lose this one as well.
Wow, well, you guys zig, I zag. I think this is actually a W for the Chargers. And by the way, I'm saying this now on September 6th as I have a sword in my throat. Over game. Holy hell, over. Justin Jefferson's going to have 200 yards receiving, and Justin Herbert's going to have over 300 yards passing. This is going to be the biggest over game of the year.
Okay. Here we go. Moving on. You have the Chargers back at home October 1st. They host the Raiders.
Yep. So the Chargers have always struggled, not always, recently they've struggled to sweep the Raiders. I think this year they actually do sweep the Raiders. They go 2-0, and this game is a home game. So I think the Chargers win this game by a good margin. I don't think Jimmy G is going to be the quarterback at the end of the season. I think it's going to be Aiden O'Connell. I like the Chargers getting out to a big lead quick and winning this game against the Raiders.
Mario, what do you have?
I have a win as well. I'm just not a believer in the Raiders. I think too many things are falling apart. Like Josh said, the goal is to sweep them every year. I think this is the year we actually get to sweep.
Okay. So right now, as they head into the bye week, Josh and I have the Chargers at 3-1. Mario has the Chargers at 4-0. Coming back on October 16th, it's a Monday night game. Chargers will host the Dallas Cowboys. Mario, you want to go first?
So this game I actually have as a loss, and here's a couple reasons why. Cowboys fans travel really well. Dallas to LA is not that bad of a travel. I think that's almost going to be a home game.
You don't even need to travel. Cowboy fans are all throughout Southern California.
So I think it's going to be a tough one to play in. I think that stadium's going to quickly turn into a Dallas Cowboys stadium. Not to mention, that's one of the best defensive coordinators you're going to face all year. I think a guy that's familiar with Kellen Moore's offensive style and what he likes to do as well. I'm not a believer in Dak. I think Dak blows. I'm not a believer in Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy blows. But who it doesn't blow is their defense, that defensive coordinator, and Michael Parsons. So I think they end up losing that game.
Go ahead, Josh.
So I went back and forth on this one. Talk about star players. There's going to be so many star players on the field for this game. That's why it's a primetime game. I think the Chargers win. Kellen Moore, not that he doesn't want to win the other games, but he definitely wants to win this one against the Dallas Cowboys. He's going to pull some tricks out of his bag. I think it's a high-scoring game, kind of similar to the Dolphins and Vikings game, but I think the Chargers win this one.
Chargers are going to win this game. I'm telling you right now, Chargers are going to win. There's no way. Kellen Moore has this game circled. You're going to see stuff in this game from the Chargers offense you haven't seen in the previous games. He is holding stuff back. He knows what their defensive coordinator does as well. He knows what Dak Prescott does. I don't think he's not walking in the defensive room to say, hey, look, this is how you rattle them. Some in practice all the time. This is how it works. This is how you attack the Dallas Cowboys offense. This is how you get to Dak. Kellen Moore has this game circled. It's the most important game on the schedule for him to show you guys made a mistake. I should be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. I shouldn't have been the one showing the door. Cowboys lose this game. I say the Chargers win this game. I'll be really upset if Chargers lose this game just because I'm rooting for Kellen Moore. Everyone wants that moment of proving the other person wrong.
Also, if my throat didn't hurt if I yelled, I would yell about how stupid people are being choosing the Cowboys to make the Super Bowl. So if you do that, you should put the whiskey bottle away.
Next game up on the schedule, it's October 22nd. Chargers back on the road. Chargers go to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. I'll go first in this one, and I'm going Chargers lose this game in Kansas City.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to go with you and agree. I think the Chargers lose this game as well. Close game. I don't think the Chargers get blown out in any game this year. This is going to be the hardest game to win the entire season, in my opinion, at Kansas City. We all know it's very difficult to win at Arrowhead.
Yeah, I mean, it's just obvious. It's difficult to win at Arrowhead. And the Chiefs, look, they have our number. I think that's a hard game to win on the road in Kansas City. We lose that game. We're going to fight about this next game. I already know.
This is so great. All right, here we go. Next game. You're going to go first in this one. Next game is going to be the Chicago Bears on October 29th at the Los Angeles Chargers. It's a primetime game, NBC game, Sunday night game of the week. Again, Chargers hosting the Bears. Mara, you go first.
Every year, Chargers have that one game, right, where like they really drop the ball, and you're like, "What the hell's going on? Like, what's happening to this team? What are they doing?" Guys, I think this is that game where they really drop the ball. I think they drop the ball and they drop the ball hard for the sole reason of all that Bears can do is run the ball, and the sole thing that Brandon Staley is allergic to figuring out is stopping the run. I think this is the one game where it's the crappy Sunday where like everything that goes wrong, and then there's Bear fans everywhere, and they're way too rowdy and way too insane. They go nuts, and they walk out of there somehow with a victory. I think it's just one of those games where they just drop the ball, and we're like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, so I don't think you're crazy for saying that. I don't think the Bears are a great team by any means, but
no, they're not.
I could totally see that happening because this is the Chargers that we're talking about, and that crap happens every year, just like with the Jaguars game where they got their doors blown out. I do think the Chargers win this game. I don't think it's going to be an easy win because I don't think the Bears are terrible. But yeah, I think the Chargers do win this game.
Chargers win this game. Okay, Chargers are going to win this game. Again, it's a Sunday night game. NBC, Chargers are going to be aware of what's going on. The Chargers are the better team. Chargers are going to beat the Bears. My prediction is, by the way, as we go through the entire schedule here, that the only team in that division that Mario has beating the Chargers is the Bears. You already have the Chargers losing or beating the Vikes. You know they're going to beat the Packers, right? They're going to beat the Lions. It's only one team in the whole division.
What team depends on the run game more than Chicago?
I got you. I'm just telling you, they're going to be able to stop it. That's old school football. Chargers are going to be able to stop it. I'm going Chargers.
Since when? When have they ever been able to stop the run?
Yeah, keep talking. The guy over here is talking who's sweating on his forehead right now who needs an IV. I'm not listening to a damn thing you're saying.
I do need an IV. I need an IV and anything in this world. And God's nut. I don't know. But listen. I'm telling you right now, they can't stop the run.
All right.
And that's going to hurt them.
Okay. We'll see. Monday Night Football, Chargers back in prime time. They're on the road. They're going to Gotham City. They're going to take on the Jets. Josh, go ahead and make your pick.
See, this one's really tough for me. I think the Chargers actually lose this game. The Jets are in the conversation as best defense in the NFL. This is going to be a very difficult game to win. Aaron Rodgers in New York. It's hard for me to say it, but I do think the Chargers lose this game.
I'll just go first. I'm gonna go Chargers lose this game as well. I just want to hear what Mario says because Aaron Rodgers is involved.
This is gonna be such the game where I'm gonna want to take the over. I want to take the over, but it's just take the under all day. I have Chargers winning this game for
Oh.
this reason only. That Jets O-line couldn't stop first graders to get into Aaron Rodgers. I think Mac and Bosa will have a field day. And by that time, I think Rodgers have gotten hit so much, he's either injured or it's just becoming a disaster over there in New York, where it's just a lot of fighting in the locker room. It's not really a lot of chemistry and culture being built. So I think by that time we hit Monday Night Football, keep in mind, anytime a team has those issues, and then you're on a Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, and the whole world can only watch your game, that tends to testify. Because instead of being at the 1 p.m. or 4 p.m. slate where there's other games going on, some people are tweeting at you. And the Monday night games, everyone is. So I think that's actually the game the Chargers win.
One thing I'll say is it's not the early game. It's not that 10 a.m. in the morning game, right? It's a night game. Hopefully the Chargers, their clock adjusts a little bit better than normal. Right now, there's so much hype around the Jets. It's hard to get a read on exactly what the Jets are. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. Detroit Lions, they come back to Los Angeles, meaning Jared Goff returns to LA, not against the Rams, but against the Chargers. This game is on November 12th, 1:05 start. I'll go first in this one. Chargers win this game against the Lions.
Yep. See, this is where I differ from both of you guys probably. I think they lose this game. I think this is the game that Mario was speaking about against the Bears, where you're thinking, oh, my God, they're definitely going to win this game. And then they drop it and you get really pissed off the rest of the day. And you go to church twice just to get over it. You go to night church just to make it feel better.
Yeah, midnight mass.
Yeah, midnight mass. And then, I don't know. I think the Chargers get up for the, primetime game against the Jets, kind of forget about the next week. You're still thinking about the last game, and then they drop it. And like I said, you get really pissed.
I feel like this is a game where Lions jump up 14-0 and they think they're home free, and then Chargers score like 21 straight points. I feel like that's like the ultimate Lions move. I actually really like LA in this spot. I think the Lions hype's gone a little too far. It's almost too much at the moment. We know what happens.
All right, so he has the Chargers winning. Josh is the only one who has the Chargers losing that game. Next game up on the schedule, November 19th. Chargers at the Green Bay Packers, 10 a.m. start. Josh, you go first.
Big win. I think the Packers are a team that nobody really knows how good or bad they are. I don't think they're a good team at all. Jordan Love is not an NFL quarterback, in my opinion. I could be totally wrong. I think the Chargers win this game significantly.
I agree as well. I think Chargers, this is one of those games where the Chargers go on the road and do extremely well.
Loss
for the Chargers?
Still, yeah. Hear me out. A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones is still hell of a backfield with an O-line that's still pretty physical. That's going to be a cold weather game. That's going to be in Lambeau. Now that stadium's piss poor, and that state's piss poor, and it's brutal there. But that's going to be a tough road environment. And I could just see it be one of those games where we somehow piss it down a leg.
I'm going to tell you, if the Chargers lose to the Packers, I'll be breaking stuff in my house. Like, I'll be extremely upset of what the hell are we doing here? Yeah. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. All right. Next game up Sunday. This is a big game. Here we go. We have November 26th. It's the Ravens at the Chargers. Again, this is an NBC game. This is a good matchup. These are two teams supposed to be in the playoffs.
Who's going first?
Mario, you go ahead.
I'm so off the Ravens. It's not even close. Yeah. It's just, the GM saying people have called me about my receiving quirks were so talented. Yeah, kiss my ass. No freaking way, dude. Kiss my ass. Your number one wideout's injury prone. Your two other ones have 1 year combination of experience. They didn't have like a Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson type of year. So shut your mouth. You have Mark Andrews, who, congratulations, he's a top tight end, but he plays every 3 games. Lamar has lost me so much money in games where he just hasn't played very well. I'm not a big believer in this team. No, I think we capitalize on the Ravens.
Josh, go ahead.
I think the Ravens are overhyped too. The whole receiver comment made me laugh, literally, because nobody in their right mind has ever said Ravens have a lot of good receivers this year, just like the Bears. Sorry, Mario. Yeah, nobody's ever like the Chicago Bears are really deep at receiver this year. This just doesn't happen. It's just not in their makeup. It's just what it is. I think the Chargers win this game. I think Lamar is actually going to be in contention though for the MVP. I think he has a huge year. Charger.
You know what? You know what it's like, Josh? Sorry, Dave, real quick. It's like the Chicago Bulls being like, people ask about our big three. You're like, no, they don't.
Nobody asks.
No one asks.
All right, here we go. For me, this game is the most competitive, balanced game on the schedule outside of the division for the Chargers. I think this is really a coin flip game. I think this one's really tough. Whoever wins this game, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm gonna go with you guys though. I'm gonna go with since I'm gonna go with my heart since my head can't make a decision. I'm going Chargers win this game against the Ravens. Following week, Chargers on the road. We'll go into December 3rd. Chargers are at the Patriots again, 10 a.m. start. I'll go first on this one, and I'm going Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going Chargers too. The Chargers play terribly, in Boston, but this isn't the Tom Brady-led Patriots. I think this team's actually horrible. They're in contention for the first pick also. I like the Chargers winning this game.
Keep out for the Patriots to have one of the worst records in the NFL. They have the hardest schedule in the NFL, according to Sharp Analytics. Their receiving core is brutal. They're going to try to win games like the Denver Broncos did last year. And guess what? That didn't work out for them. I think Chargers win this game easily because the Patriots are going to be beat the hell at that point. It's going to be a hard game. Don't get me wrong, because Bill Belichick never makes it easy. I think Patriots will be like a covering machine, but them winning this game, hell no. And I think Mac Jones is absolutely abysmal at QB. So I think we actually leave that stadium with a win.
Okay, next game up is the Denver Broncos coming to town. It's December 10th, 1:25 kickoff start. I'll go Chargers at home against the Broncos.
You're going first, or am I going first?
Yeah, I just went first. So it's either you or Mario.
Oh, okay. I think the Chargers win this game. Broncos are terrible. We talked about it at the beginning of the show. It's going to be a mess by this point in the season, I believe. Russell Wilson could be benched. We'll throw that out there. Charger win.
Charger win, but it's a close win. We win by a field goal because somehow Broncos and Peyton always find a way to keep it close.
Okay. Here we go. Thursday night game. Chargers are at the Raiders. We're going December 14th. And Mario, I'll let you go first.
So this is week 15. This is 4 weeks left in this season. Let's say Raiders are very, very out of everything, and they're really gunning for Caleb Williams, who says that Max Crosby's maybe not seen as much in this game. Devontae Adams isn't seen as much this game. They've already hit what they need to get their bonuses that year. That's why I really, really like the Chargers in this spot. Chargers would need to keep winning to play, and Raiders would need to keep sucking for Caleb. So I think that's a narrative that would be going on really big in this game. So I actually really like that in a Week 15 win.
Yeah, you can't tell me that 15 weeks into the year, the Raiders are going to be contending for anything. With Mario, this game is going to be meaningless for the Raiders, and the Chargers win.
All right, I have Chargers winning as well. This is one of those games where normally I would say we're just going to split this. The game is in the wrong point of the season. Kind of agree with you guys for the same exact reasons. I think by this time, the Raiders either have injuries or a lot of the players have checked out. Right now, things aren't going good for the Raiders. I can't see them getting much better unless the Raiders get off to a red-hot start. I just don't see things changing with the Las Vegas Raiders. Next up on the schedule, you have the Bills at the Chargers. This game is a Saturday night game, Peacock game. Okay, this is where everyone gets frustrated. I can't find the game. Chargers at home against the Buffalo Bills. And Josh, I'll let you go first on this one.
Look, this one was one of those games where it took me a really long time to decide on what I wanted to go with. At this point in the season, I have the Chargers on a 5-game win streak, and it's really hard for me to say they're going to win 6 in a row. I have it as a loss, and it could totally be a win, but I'm going to have this as a loss. Bills are obviously one of the best teams in the league. Close game, but a loss for the Chargers.
This game's going to be like a playoff game because at this point, both us and the Bills are in a very, very, very tight division that's probably competing for a title, if not competing for a wild card spot. I think Bills edge us in this game, though. I think they edge us just by a little bit. I think it's going to be just a gunslinging matchup between Allen and Herbert. Another game where I think the over is just going to be the sweetest thing on the planet. But I think Bills edge us in the end and pull out the W.
I worry about this game because obviously you have another running back that can run, but they also have receivers. When I said that it's the same situation like the Ravens, where it's kind of like a coin flip, don't know exactly what's going to happen. Like if this game was in Buffalo, I'd pick the Bills, but I'm just going to go opposite of you guys. I'm going to be different on this one. I'm going to go Chargers win this game. Chargers pull off this win. I have no idea though. This is one of those I just don't know.
This could also be, honestly, if all our predictions, let's just say, come true, this could be the MVP game. Like this game could determine the MVP. You know what I'm saying? Like if Allen versus Herbert, like that could be one of those things where you look back, how did Herbert get MVP last year? Oh, because this matchup against the Bills. I don't know, dude. I'm just strep throat. Let's just get a call.
All right. So here we go. Last two on the schedule. Chargers at the Broncos. I'm gonna go Chargers again. They end up sweeping the Broncos.
Sweep. Meaningless game for the Broncos, just like the Raider game a couple weeks prior. I think the Broncos are such a mess. I think it's a win. I don't think it's close. We're going against some backup quarterback at this point in the season.
Mario.
He's going to do it. He's going to do it, isn't he?
Go ahead.
Last year just rings my head. Last year really, really rings my head. Well, just with this short pool of information we have right now of Peyton and Denver, it's just gone terrible. I'll go win. I'll go win.
Win for the Chargers?
Yes.
Okay. Last game on the schedule, Chiefs at the Chargers.
I'll go first. Win. I don't think the Chiefs could be playing all their players at this point in the season, and that's me speculating that Patrick Mahomes is going to be Superman this next season. So maybe they're ahead in the standings. But I do have the Chargers winning, and that means the Chargers would be 12-5. So this game could be really meaningful. But I do like the Chargers to win. The Chargers have played the Chiefs great at home the last few years. I think the Chargers finally get over the hump and beat the Chiefs.
Go ahead, Mario.
Loss. I think this is a loss because if I had Josh's line, like I thought, like with Josh, I was honestly with you until I saw the Kelce news today. And my thought process is, let's say like Kelce plays tomorrow and gets hurt, hurts it more. Let's just say he's out for like a couple of weeks. Whatever couple of weeks he's out, and let's say Chiefs drop a few, maybe this game can decide the division between us and the Chiefs. Anytime that happens, it's going to be the Chiefs. It's going to be the Chiefs. I'm not going to bet against Mahomes. I'm just not going to do it. He's simply the greatest quarterback we've ever seen. I'm not going to bet against him. So I think in that scenario, and I in the dream scenario, we split with the Chiefs. But for me, if it comes down to a situation where it's us or them for the division, I would be lying to you if I want to take the Chiefs.
All right, I'm going Chiefs on this one as well. Until the Chargers prove that they can handle KC on a regular basis, I'm just going to go with the team that's supposed to win the Super Bowl. So I'm going with KC. So this is the way it wraps up. Believe it or not, guys, the people that always say I'm the most negative, I'm the most positive in our picks. I'm 13-4 this year. Sounds crazy to say that out loud. Josh is 12-5. Mario, you're 11-6.
All over
of what Vegas says on the win total. Right,
yeah, the 9.5 is so off to me, so off. Yeah, I like her picks. I don't think any of us are crazy. Somebody wrote in the comments on YouTube. Yeah, I don't think anybody thinks they're crazy, but somebody wrote in the comments on YouTube that we're homers and you guys need to be realistic. Dude, this is the most realistic podcast you're gonna find for the Chargers. Yeah. So this is our honest picks. I looked through the stats. I did research. I put a lot of time into this. 12-5. That's what I think.
And the Chargers won't let us in the stadium. So, I mean, we have nothing to kiss ass about for sure. We're as honest as can be. I mean, God dang. Right? I mean, hell, all three of us are fans of the team. The Chargers won't even let us in the damn stadium.
Can you tell them why they wouldn't? The fans don't. Some people don't know why they wouldn't allow us in the stadium. Tell them why. Do you remember?
Which reason? All I know is when I put in for credentials and remember this, I went to every goddamn Charger home game in LA and San Diego since like 1994. All right. And then all of a sudden I said, hey, can I get media passes for the Dolphins Chargers? And they wrote back, hey, good luck with that. And I'm like, good luck with that. You're the one that makes the decision. What are you talking about? There's no luck involved. Either I'm in or I'm out. Oh, you're out. I mean,
Yeah.
but they didn't even give us like, hey, I had that moment. Like I put in for credentials 2 months in advance, and they waited
Yeah.
till like 3 days before the game. Hey, you're out.
No, but you forgot to say the
Okay.
part that they left at the end when they said we didn't get it. They said, "Be nicer about Brandon Staley."
Yeah,
what
that's
they
right.
said.
That's what they said. That's true. They didn't like the fact we were negative about Brandon Staley. 100%. Take it easy on Brandon Staley. I think
That
that's
as I was
exactly
saying,
right.
that was the exact. It said,
Yeah.
take it easy on Staley.
Yeah, you
All
can't be
right.
petty. We don't get paid by the Chargers. Okay. I mean, I'm sorry for people in the public relations office that get their feelings hurt. We don't get paid by anybody. Joey Bosa doesn't pay us. Justin Herbert doesn't pay us. Kellen Moore doesn't pay us. We're guys who are watching football who right now the Chargers are our team in 2023. And we're sitting there, yeah, we hope they do fantastic this year. But you don't want to let us in the goddamn stadium. Don't let us in. That's fine. If you
Well,
want us to
figure
sit
out-
there and kiss your ass, man, you got the wrong podcast. Go with someone else.
Yeah, and like figure out how to stop the run, and then I won't talk
Yeah.
crap about you.
Dude, don't
Crazy
blow
how that
a
works.
goddamn lead. Yeah, yeah, don't blow that lead in the playoffs. I mean, damn,
Yeah.
everything we said, I hate to tell you, was true. So they could get upset all they want. I don't care. We don't do this for the Chargers. Guess what? I got a TV. Okay, I got news for everybody. This is the worst kept secret in the NFL. Worst place to see an NFL game is inside an NFL stadium. They don't show you jack squat. The best place to see a game is actually at home with a good TV where you can get to your bathroom back and forth and not miss plays. Right? Don't just sit and
True.
park and going back and forth. Ridiculous. And that got me all fired up. Now I'm all pissed at the PR staff for the Chargers for having hurt feelings. Unridiculous. It's ridiculous. Are we now? I'm out there. Are we going predictions for 2023? Are we saving for the next show and picking games? What are we doing?
So
I'm all off.
I
Came up asking a guy with 108 fever who's almost went in a coma 3 times during the last segment. What are we doing?
all right. This is okay, Boomer. You just had to find your glasses so you can read something. Right in front of you.
100%. Beads of sweat on my forehead.
Okay, and also, guys, this coming from a person before we start every single show. Dave can never figure out his AirPods. He puts them in, goes, "Gosh darn it, I can't do it." I'm like, you know.
Good.
So you can never do that. So it's like, it's okay, buddy. I understand that you can't do it and that you learned how to type through a typewriter. That's okay.
It's 100% true.
Yeah. So we'll do predictions right now, and then we'll save all of our week 1 picks and like a full Dolphins Charger breakdown. We'll do that Friday. How about that?
Can't wait.
Sounds good.
Because we'd probably do 2 shows. We'll probably do 2 shows normally this week. I was just sick. Hand up. I was sick. I'm the problem. So does that work for everyone?
It works.
All right.
All right, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna fire through this. You guys writing this down? Keep track. See who was ridiculous. We're gonna start off, guys, in the NFC East. Okay, we're into the NFC first. NFC East. Give me your standings, Josh.
The NFC East, I think, is very clear cut. It's going to be the Eagles. It's going to be the Cowboys, be the Giants, and then Commanders. I know Sam Howell's been named the captain. Okay, that doesn't mean anything to me. All right, at all. I don't care if he's the captain. He's a quarterback. He should be the captain. Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, Commanders.
The only quarterback not to be named a captain like in the last 20 years is Tua. 2 years ago, the Dolphins didn't name him. When Brian Flores was the coach, they wouldn't name him captain. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Crazy.
Every quarterback's the captain. Mario, does your standings match up with that? Do you have the same standings? Yes,
I do, but I really want to put Cowboys 3.
but do it.
I think there's too much hype around them, dude. I just think like they're one of those teams where I've grown up my whole life where they get so much hype before and then they never pull through. They never do it. And it's just how many times we're going to get in this circus and just run on this wheel. Like how many times we're going to do this?
So you're going to go with it or what?
Yeah,
I think I'm going to go with it. I think I'm going to go with it. I think Cowboys go 3. I think they go 3. Brian Daboll's a hell of a coach. Hell of a coach. I think Daniel Jones is bullcrap. I think he's terrible. But I think Dowell's a hell of a coach, and he's a better coach than McCarthy is. And I think he can scheme and bullcrap themselves together to some good wins. I think that'll be like Tennessee Titans a little bit. The Tennessee Titans the past couple of years were like, dude, I don't get how this team's winning. I think that's how the New York Giants are going to be for a little bit. And I think they're going to take the second spot in the NFC East. If you talk to a lot of New Yorkers, I mean, it's obviously New Yorkers, but they're really high on that too. And maybe I'm just listening to the New York music, but don't worry, I just stopped doing that. But something just I have a feeling that Giants will be able to sneak that second spot over the Dallas Cowboys.
I like your comparison to the Giants and Titans, though. I think that's a pretty good one. Two very good coaches that do more with less. I'm going to Josh's picks, though. I'm going to Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, Commanders. Here's the interesting thing in this division. I think it's like 20 years that they haven't had a repeat champion in that division. So the chances of the Eagles winning, obviously, odds are they won't. But I think it's obvious. To me, the Eagles are the best team in that division. NFC North, this is where it's going to get crazy. Mario, you're going to go first. NFC North, give me your standings.
NFC North.
Yes.
Oh, wow, this one. So it's obviously Bears, then everyone. I'm kidding. No shot. You might call me crazy. I think they've gotten too much slander. But I think the Vikings still take this division. So I think they still take it. I think Lions go 2. And I think Bears go 3. And I think Pack go 4. I think that's
exactly
how that
this.
goes.
I have exactly the same thing.
Yeah, I think Vikings are catching a little too much heat. Where I'm like, guys, this was a team that still was still pretty strong last year and had the best record for a little bit in the NFL, even though their points differential was terrible.
Josh, what do you have?
I have the same thing as both you guys.
God, I thought for sure Mario would shake this whole bracket up right here.
Yeah, nah, that division's weird, but I have the same thing as Mario and you.
Okay, here we go. NFC South. I'll go first. I have Saints, Falcons, Buccaneers, Panthers.
Yeah, I'll go next. I have the same thing as you, but switch the Falcons and the Bucks. I got Saints, Bucks, Falcons, Panthers.
Okay.
I'm not a believer in Dennis Allen at all. So I go Falcons, Saints, Bucks, Panthers. I think, by the way, Bryce Young, dude, that poor guy's gonna have a tough year.
He is. That's why. Yeah, it's true. He's gonna have a tough time. Yeah, It's a tough time. He's in trouble. He's gonna take a beating back there. Here we go. NFC West. Go ahead, Josh.
NFC West, horrible division. You got the 49ers, an absolute juggernaut at the top. And you got the Seahawks, who can Geno Smith do it again, number 2. Rams, awful roster, number 3. And the Cardinals, the worst team in the NFL. If you haven't seen yet, which you've probably seen already, Josh Dobbs will be the starting quarterback, baby, for their first game.
Just got there. Like, there's no place to live.
No, sleeping in his car. He's quarterback, week 1.
Like, I've never seen an NFL team franchise tank the way the Cardinals are trying to do this. Like, it's almost like the NFL office needs to step in and go, what are you doing? Like, we 100%. All know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I have the same exact rundown. I agree with everything Josh just said. Mario's, yours is different?
So gambling wise, I would bet Seahawks just because it's better value, and Pete Carroll's a hard guy to not bet against. But yeah, I would agree. Niners, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals. It's just that simple. The Niners just are way too talented, and Shanahan's too much of a genius.
Okay, I'm with you guys right there. So here we go. Let's move on to the AFC East. I'll go first. I have Dolphins, shocker, Bills, Jets, Patriots.
See, this is the hardest division for me to pick. You got 3 playoff teams.
You got 3 teams you could shake up all over the place.
You got 3 teams that can make the Super Bowl. I'm gonna go Bills, Jets, Dolphins, Patriots, and I'm not confident at all what I just said, but I don't know, man. I think the Bills are so overhyped too, but I don't know. I go Bills, Jets, Dolphins, Patriots.
Micah Hyde already having issues too.
Micah.
Before the season. Micah. Look at though. I'm sick. Attack the sick kid. Give you pause on the Bills. But here's the thing. One hard hit on Tua. I mean, what happens, man? And then they're screwed. The Jets can't block anybody. The Patriots just have no talent on one side of the football. I would go Bills, Jets, Dolphins, Patriots.
Okay, so you have the same as Josh.
Yeah, I'm going to go the same as Josh. And I'm going to stick with that. I think Jets and Bills both make playoffs too.
Okay. Well, hold on. We'll hold on to the playoffs thing for a second. AFC North. All right. Go, Mario. You go first.
This is where you guys might think I'm a little nuts. By the way, I think this is the hardest division
You
to
do?
predict. Yes.
Really?
Because there's so many sleepers. Like, I think Steelers could be a sleeper to win this division. I think the Bengals are obviously the clear cut taker of the division. I think the Browns are a huge sleeper on the year. Like, if we see vintage Deshaun Watson, which is very quite possibly we do, that is a dangerous, dangerous, dangerous team. So I look at it and I go, all right, which team am I going to take to an NFC North? I think it's just a clear-cut path that it's Bengals at 1. I'm really going to rattle you guys. At 2, I think it's the Browns because I think we see Deshaun Watson again. At 3, I think it's Steelers. And then at 4, I put Ravens. And my clear thing is because Tomlin is going to get that team going. I think Pickens is actually going to surprise a lot of people this year. I don't know if I'm a big Pickett guy yet. We'll see what Tomlin can get out of him, but that's what I got.
Josh, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, you're not lying about how it's a tough division to pick, but go Bengals. You got to take them down. Nobody's proven that in that division yet. Bengals number 1. I got Ravens number 2. I think Lamar is going to be playing for an MVP spot. I think I think he's going to contend for it, and they do have a lot of options on offense. Can he hit his receivers? That's the big question. And then the Browns, because I do like the talent they have on that team. Nick Chubb, I don't think he's underrated because people talk about him a lot, but he might be the best running back in the NFL. That's how good he is. And then Steelers, I have last just because of Kenny Pickett. Defensively, they have a ton of studs, but I don't trust Kenny Pickett, their offensive line. I think George Pickens is their number 1 receiver. I don't think they're there yet. So that's why I have the Steelers last.
All right. AFC North. We're all different. AFC North, I have Bengals 1, Ravens 2, Steelers 3, Browns 4. That's where I'm going. I don't believe in Kenny Pickett. I don't believe in the Browns just because I think the world hates them, and the Browns are the Browns. I think the Ravens are decent. I think the Bengals are one of the top teams in the NFL. AFC South. This is the division that nobody gives a rat's ass about, including people in this division. I'll go first in this one. I'm going Jaguars, Titans, Texans, Colts.
All right. I thought this one was pretty easy, actually. I have the top 2 are the same for me. So I have Jaguars, then I have the Titans, then I have the Colts. I think Anthony Richardson might be okay compared to what people might think he is going to be this year. And then the Texans. I think the Texans are freaking terrible. I don't think the Colts are good either, but they have more pieces than the Texans. So I have them finishing 3rd ahead of them.
I go Jags, Titans just because of Vrabel, and then I go Colts and then Texans.
You're same as me.
I think, yeah, same as you. By the way, dude, I'm like pretty interested to see how good of a head coach Shane is in Indianapolis. I'm actually really curious to see how good of a head coach he is.
I think, that's one of those jobs where I almost think you're better in passing on that job. I think when you have an owner that's, BS crazy, that you just move on.
Josh McDaniels did it.
When he passed on it, I think it was a smart
Yeah.
move for his career. He ended up with the Raiders. He's not killing it, but at least his owner has someone that believes in him. That doesn't have to. Owners that want to get in front of that camera, man, always scare me.
Mm-hmm.
Say what you want about Dean. Dean hates the camera. Dean doesn't want to be seen anywhere. All right, here we go. AFC West. This is the big one right here. I'm gonna let Josh go first because he kind of hinted on what he was going number 1. So, Josh, who do you have? AFC West.
Yeah, man, I have the Chargers winning the division at 12-5. It's going to come down to the wire. It's not like the Chiefs are going to suck or something this year, but I have the Chargers winning the division. Chiefs 2nd, Broncos 3rd. I can't imagine a Sean Payton coach team finish last in the division. And then the Raiders, it is exploding before the season even starts, like more than the other teams. So I think the Raiders are last contending for Caleb Williams, the number 1 pick.
Mario, go ahead.
I agree with a lot of what you just said, Josh. I think I think clear cut, it's Raiders last. It's just dog poop, they're last. Then I think it goes good old Denver Bronco country. Let's ride. I still think Chiefs take the division though, and I have Chargers at 2.
Okay, we're all different in this one too. I'm gonna go Chiefs 1. I'm gonna go. I can't pick Staley over Andy Reid. I'm going Chiefs 1, Chargers 2, Raiders 3, Broncos 4. I'm going, and I understand when you look at the quarterback situation, the head coach situation, it should be the Raiders the last. I don't see the Broncos fixing this. Too many egos headed in the wrong direction. I think the Raiders have too many angry guys who are playing for their next team. They're putting film out there for the next team. Josh Jacobs is playing for his next team. Max Crosby, if he gets traded, Max Crosby never takes a playoff, so it doesn't matter what team he's on. Max Crosby is exactly who you want. And Garoppolo wins 70% of his games, and Devontae Adams is great if he can get him the ball. But I'm going Raiders over the Broncos. I hate the Broncos. Like if I was a Bronco fan, I'd be going, I can't believe this city of Denver pays more attention to what's going on in Boulder with the University of Colorado and Dion than what's going on at our stadium. You know?
Yeah, Mario said something interesting at the beginning of the show about the Broncos and Sean Payton, how it's going to be an overhaul. I could totally see that. Like when Pete Carroll went from USC to the Seahawks and he literally just got rid of every single player on the team. He's like, I'm going to bring in the guys I want. That it seems like that's the direction they're heading in Denver.
All right, you guys ready for your playoffs? Your 7 teams on each side for the playoffs? You got it?
Yeah, I think I got it.
Right. Okay, go ahead, Josh. You ready? What do you want me to go first?
When do you guys
Mario, go first. Mario, go ahead. Go first.
All right. Well, I'm writing them all down right now. So why don't you guys go first? Because
I'll go first. All right. God dang it.
All right. Easy, boomer.
Get us COVID. Sorry, it's called preparing. Jesus.
All
right, here. We gave you a week. You had stress.
I am prepared.
We missed the show.
Dude, I didn't know we were doing seeding today. We're just who's winning the division? We're doing
division.
Seeding?
Yeah, we're doing, not seeding.
Okay, I am with Josh.
Playoff teams on each side.
We never mentioned seeding. We never mentioned
just pick 7 teams.
You just asked me to make a bracket in my head. I can
barely make a bracket.
Yeah,
no, I'm saying give me your 7 teams in the postseason on both sides. No one of the Chargers will let us into a game. We're unprepared. All right, here we go. I'm gonna give you mine. All right.
I have my 7 teams.
Okay, you ready?
Hey, I'm ready. Hey, are you also ready to give your offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year?
Yes, I'm ready to
Something
go.
we also didn't, none of us prepped for.
Dude, I think we literally promoted it. I think someone wrote in the YouTube comments, "I can't wait for it." So go ahead.
I bet.
Go ahead, Josh. Go ahead. Give me your 7 teams. NFC, 7 teams, AFC.
Yeah, I'll just go AFC first. So Chargers, Chiefs, and this is in no order. Chargers, Chiefs, Jaguars, Bills, Jets, Bengals, Ravens. Dolphins. Tua's a head injury away from retirement, and I can't trust he's going to play a whole season.
Okay. You want to give me NFC too, or we're just going to alternate?
Just go AFC first. What do you guys got for AFC?
All right. I got obviously the title ones that we had: Bengals, Chiefs, Jaguars, Bills, because those are the titles I had, and then Jets, Chargers, Browns. My wild card kids. By the way, you can also bet on this wild card, and one of my favorite bets before the season is Chargers are plus 350 right now to make the wild card spot in the playoffs. That's better than taking them to make the playoffs. I believe it's like minus 105. Smack that so hard. Like that is the freaking easiest bet in the world to make. Plus 350 to make the freaking wild card. You kidding me? God. What are we doing, guys?
All right, here we go. Here's my AFC for you.
Like, how sexy is that?
Chiefs, Chargers, Jaguars, Titans, Bengals, Ravens, Dolphins. All right, completely different than what you guys have. All right, do you want me to go over it again? Chiefs, Chargers, Jaguars, Titans, shocker, Bengals, Ravens, Dolphins, Bills, Jets do not make the postseason.
Bills don't make the playoffs.
Dude, they beat the hell out of each other. I just think it's too many losses. The guys beat the hell out of each other. The reason the Titans make it is the Titans have 4 free games against the Texans and Colts.
All right. Whatever.
All right. I'm just saying that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
All right. And NFC, if you want, I'll go first. Okay. I have the Eagles and Cowboys making it, and then NFC East. In the NFC North, I have the Vikings and Lions making it. NFC South, I have the Saints making it. And the NFC West, I have the Niners and Seahawks making it.
Yeah, I have the same exact thing you have. The NFC is so freaking terrible. It's like I don't know how many NBA fans there are out there. It's literally the Western Conference of a few years ago versus the Eastern Conference. It's so bad. There's 7 clear-cut teams, I think, because you just have to start getting into the weeds. Like, are the Falcons going to make the playoffs? Are the Bears? You know what I mean? Like, nobody trusts any of those teams. It just kind of sucks if you're an AFC team like the Dolphins that gets left out of the playoffs and you're really good and you watch the freaking Cowboys or Lions limping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mario, what do you got, bud?
So my divisional winners that we went through earlier, so it's Eagles, Niners, Vikings, Falcons. And then through the wild card, I got Seahawks, just never counting Pete Carroll out. And that roster is really, really talented, and it's a young, talented roster. I'm also so interested to see when they're going to get a quarterback. Like Gino, you're not going to ride Gino this long. And then I have Lions. They make it through. So 2 teams out of the NFC North, because I just think they're going to really beat the crap out of the other crappy teams in the NFC North.
Yep.
And then the New York Football Giants at the other spot to take the division. I think that's going to come to a late game. I believe they have a late game against, let's see. So they have 2 late games against the Eagles, where I believe Eagles will already have it clammed up, the division. But I think they will be able to smack the Cowboys around a little bit and take that. So I think that's when they'll snag that is week 18 to face the Eagles. Face the Eagles at home. I think that's when they secure the playoff spot.
Okay. Last thing we're going to do. Give me your Super Bowl matchup. Who wins the Super Bowl this year?
All right. Chargers, 49ers, Super Bowl. Chargers win the Super Bowl. All right. I know it's a rematch of the previous Super Bowl between the Chargers and 49ers. Roles reverse, baby. Chargers win this time.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mario.
Cincinnati, Philadelphia. Cincy wins.
Cincy wins against Philadelphia. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going Philadelphia in the Super Bowl against the Chargers. Can't believe I'm saying it. Chargers are going to come all the way back from a wild card. They're going to make a run. They're going to go to the Super Bowl. Eagles beat the Chargers in the Super Bowl.
All right. Prediction. One more prediction I'm going to add to this. Chargers get a big time player at the trade deadline. Make this team a lot better. Yeah, that's my prediction. They don't do it ever, but they're going to do it this time.
They don't win a Super Bowl ever either.
Yeah, that's why I think they got to do it. You got to make one of those Von Miller, OBJ type moves to get you into the Super Bowl.
I like that a lot. All right, that's cool. All right, so we're going to come back next show. We're going to break down basically the Chargers-Dolphins game heading into the first game of the season on Sunday, and then at the same time, we're going to pick the games of the week with the spread like we always do, right? You can't go to a casino and pick games without the spread. We can do it with the spread here too, all right? We aren't just picking winners. That's the way it goes. So we'll be back. Again, you can watch the show on YouTube. The show is a complete cluster F. Mario battled through it. Mario, I recommend to you that you sit and you write this show down to let you know that you recorded it at one time, and then go watch it again in like 2 months when you're 100% healthy and go, oh my God, was I sick?
Dude, I'm like even looking now. I'm like, dude, this is not, I'm like this is when steroids might be an option.
This looks like you have a different lens on your computer. Like your head just shrunk. Like you lost 8 pounds in your head.
Dude,
your face looks so thin. Yeah, you can tell you're sick. All right. Again, you can watch on YouTube. Leave comments. We appreciate it. We appreciate you listening through the Odyssey app as well. Bolt City Podcast. For Mario.